Welcome back to the Double Squares Golf Show. I'm Nick Hedrick, joined by the one and only across the nation. He's Tyler Gallo. Back for this is gonna be episode 1, solely because on YouTube we couldn't upload last week's due to an issue with the Gmail account. So this is episode 1, parentheses for real this time, close parentheses. Two guys talking about getting better in their golf game, their golf journey, and hopefully just some casual listening for all of you to enjoy listening to two people talk about getting better, as I'm sure many people find yourselves in a similar situation. I'm Nick, as mentioned. Tyler, how are you, my friend?
Doing great. Yeah, as you alluded to, out in San Francisco on kind of the annual birthday trip my dad and I take. Our birthdays aren't until next month, but we are out here in San Francisco, California, ready to see the New York Mets tonight. We usually go see them in a new ballpark for kind of a birthday trip every year. Last year was Minnesota. Year before that was Tampa. So becoming a yearly thing. But yeah, just got back from playing around, and I can't wait to get into that and also some other stuff.
Yeah, we'll get into that round in detail. I did not have a stroke. I got a cavity filled today, so my mouth's a little droopy on this side. No, this side. Once in a while, so apologies for that. But I'm fighting the good fight. I just don't want anyone to think I'm on drugs. Speaking of that, just insane golf news after a week of so much hope and so much promise because he returned for the TGL. What we launched our first episode with was Tiger Woods coming back for the TGL. What did this mean for him playing in the Masters? And then he went out and got at least his second, maybe third or fourth DUI, not for alcohol, but for what appears to be allegedly, pills. I can't remember the name of exactly what he had on him, but clearly under the influence of something. I know a lot of people associate that with alcohol. His BAC was all zeros, I think, but obviously he was under the influence of something else. There's not a ton for us to add, especially about a week out now, but obviously we need to address this just a little bit. I don't know. I've thought about this for a long time because this is one of those rare people where he just keeps doing things that you're kind of like, and everyone still loves him. Like he cheats on his wife, a serial cheater, might I add. Like he wasn't just hooking up with some random person. Like there was a Rolodex. He's texting the one girl like, I just want you to know, like, you were my favorite. The crazy HBO documentary. Please watch that if you haven't. And it's one of those things where I was obviously a youth at the time. I remember it being in middle school, but like I think it's one of those things where like this is really crappy, but like this isn't unforgivable, right? Like this is a guy who's on top of the world, probably thought he could get away with it, and now he's getting brought back to reality. He's had these other issues, and I think what makes it so frustrating for me is he got the fairy tale. There we go. There's the tooth injury coming up. He had the fairy tale ending. He had the 2019 Masters. We had that this guy, was on top of the world. He got humbled incredibly by surgeries, by some things that were his own fault, and he's had it back. Like he's at the mountaintop again. He's pretty old. I know golfers, they can extend that, but like he's in his 40s. He got it. Like he got to where he needed to be once more and showed like you can fix things up, persevere, and everyone's going nuts. Everyone loves him. And then he's been in the car crash a year or two ago, whatever it was now. And there's the videos of him being pulled over before where he's like, I need to say the Pledge of Allegiance backwards or whatever, the alphabet backward, like whatever it was. And you're like, please just figure it out. And I think this one's especially frustrating because, as I've mentioned before, he's been caught driving under the influence before. He's crashed, whatever. And as much as, people are going to make jokes online and say like, oh, like me when I'm running, late to work, and it's the picture of him, or like me when I'm running late to work after a long weekend of drinking with the boys, and it's, him looking all goofy with the mugshot or whatever. Like, as much as you joke about DUIs, unfortunately, the reason we can joke about it is because thank God he hasn't hurt anybody in any of these or killed somebody. And now it's to a point where it's happened so often, you're kind of like, all right, dude, like, please just figure it out. Like, I'm begging you. Like, I think some people are finally going to get off the bandwagon with this most recent incident, and I would understand why. I'm too much of an empath, so I'm going to root for him to figure it the hell out. Wanted to use a more colorful word there, but trying to keep this PG. But like, you just got to figure it out. I know it's easy for me to sit here and not, have to take a cocktail of pain medications because of all the surgeries he's had and whatnot. But like, please don't let, you've had the comeback. You've had everything, kind of fall back into your lap. And now you've messed it up again a little bit. And he doesn't know I exist. So please don't think this is me like being one of the Barstool guys crying and saying like, please, this isn't meant to come off that way. I know it
You
probably
want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
but like, regardless of what's happening now, like the 2019 thing is still inspiring. The fact he's, still able to compete to somewhat of a level after everything is like something everyone can get behind. And I would hate for something to happen where he finally hurts somebody or seriously, seriously hurt, like kills himself. He's already seriously hurt himself before. Like,
Yeah.
I would hate for him to seriously injure or kill someone else at this point. And I just hope for his sake he figures it out. And maybe he's just, and I'm sure there's some of this, maybe he's just done a really good job of hiding what I'm Tiger Woods and you can't touch me kind of attitude he has, which unfortunately the thing of he's going to seek treatment outside the country. I'm not going to like point a finger, but I mean, how many people have been to rehab that you know of that are famous? A lot. We could probably spend a half hour listing them off.
I mean,
how many of them, have you heard are going outside the country to do it? He lives in Florida. I'm sure there's a lot of rehab facilities in Florida with some pretty top-notch people he could.
I could go down the street and see 5 of them. I can go down the street and see 5 of them literally right out my door.
On your trip in California and in Florida, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like I said, I'm pulling for him, but this has really, really just been like a maybe you should hop off before everyone comes back and does a nice little I told you this guy was an asshat kind of deal.
And I think I said it perfectly when I texted you about it. It was like this guy pissed away his 30s trying to live like a frat bro, which is unfortunate, but it's true. This guy that we all looked up to, we all watched growing up, all the celebrations and all the success that he had. Unfortunately, decided that he wanted to be the next member of Lambda Chi Alpha. Sorry, Dad, that's your fraternity. I'm just going to use that one because that's the only one that popped.
Is he in the room with you?
No, he's not. He's he's out getting a massage right now after golf. Had a great round today, despite the back ailment he came into the round with. So I'm proud of him for it. But yeah, I had to use that one because that's the only one I could really think of right now. I forget, So there's no slight against them. They're great, but yeah, unfortunately, and now you're paying for it in your 40s and 50s because you decided you wanted to feel like you're invincible. But always gonna like Tiger. But when I saw this, it was like your reaction, like there it is again, like. And when I saw rollover crash, I was like, ooh, is he dead? Like, what's going on here? So that's all I'll say on it. I mean, I'm not like, there's not really much else that could be said that hasn't already been said. I just was laughing at the people that for some reason have gotten platforms in the golf world. Looking at the Barstool guys and Dan Rappaport with these crazy videos, just that were honestly more funnier than the entire situation itself. So
his shirt selling out that he was wearing in the mug. Yeah. It's also just a crazy thing of like,
I debated
he's going to do what he's going to do, but like people do like hopping on the joke like that. Once again, not to sound high and mighty, but it takes away from the, like someone could have died.
Yeah.
Because of him doing this. And now everyone's like, oh, I got the DUI shirt. And it's like, okay.
It's going to
go sick shirt though. Hand up, sick shirt, nice shade of blue.
I was debating buying it, like legitimately buying it because I thought it was a nice shirt.
Well, it'll be at Marshall's near you within a few years, probably.
So it's going to go triple platinum at those high school parties. We know.
TJ Maxx, baby. The Lonzo UCLA jersey. But, I mean, the reporting was weird. Just to touch on something no one else is going to care about. Because they're like, Tiger involved in a rollover, like, no one else is hurt. Or there's, like, something like, but no one really said how he was doing. And then it was just like, the sheriff's office is going to give a statement in an hour.
Yeah,
like,
that's always scary.
Like no one really said how anyone was. Like we'd cleared, like no one was hurt. Like there was nothing about him. I feel like it was like no one else is injured, but no one knows like how Tiger is or whatever. And you like see this picture of the thing on its side, and it's like it doesn't look horrible for a rollover, but like it's on one side. Let's say he's not wearing a seatbelt, he gets flung, hits his head, like. So I was kind of like, did Tiger just like casually die as everyone was just, hyping up him coming back to the Masters? Now he's going to be dead. Thankfully, not the case. And again, thankfully, no one else is either, but
Yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We're going to have a Masters with no Tiger or Phil, which sounds nuts. Phil backing out makes it sound like it was like him being afraid. Family health issue that we don't know much about. He's missed the first few live events. I think returned at their most recent one in South Africa, or maybe the event before that, for a family health matter. He's out again this time of the Masters for the family health matter. So obviously,
he'll enjoy Live Duels Arlington, Virginia coming up.
That's nuts. We don't know who that's nuts for a serious subject. But I mean, it's gonna be weird without either of them. I don't know with their histories of injuries and stuff if it's ever happened before in our lifetime, and we don't know. But yeah, it's gonna be weird, especially because you never know how many more of them you have with these two individually, let alone at the same time. So to lose both of them within like 72 hours was kind of nuts. Moving on, Valero Texas Open going on right now. We're not going to really talk about this, but fun little last tournament. Throw it on as Easter festivities wind down or in between, and nice little tune-up for the Masters, which is next weekend. So enjoy the Valero if you happen to watch it. Tommy Fleetwood's up there, who kind of blue-balled everyone, I think, into thinking he had a cool sponsor finally, wearing all the course merch and stuff, and then it's like, Tommy Fleetwood has signed with Blackstone, and everyone's like, this sucks. And I go, Blackstone, like the griddles? This is sick, dude. Like, Tommy Fleetwood's going to be, learning like there's an easy play here. Like the British people, there's all the memes like the British are eating, like the Germans are still bombing them. And like, it's like, imagine like a commercial where Tommy Fleetwood, this British guy, is working with Blackstone and someone's like teaching him how to Americanize his food, like season it up, do crazy things with this, wrap it in bacon, and do the little this British guy's like, what on earth are you telling me to do to this food with Blackstone? Like, it's perfect. And then no, it's just a division of BlackRock.
Whatever.
Okay, that's lame.
Lame.
Any thoughts? I just threw like 15 things at you because I want to hear about the sound in my mouth hurts the more I talk. So
it was really, I will only say this. It was really funny watching him raid the pro shop every week at tournaments while he was trying to find a sponsor. But as somebody that has worn the Tiger, I was just talking about him, the Tommy Fleetwood Nike striped shirts, my last couple rounds, I really like those. I wore the green and black one today. I like that, and I'm sad that he's no longer a Nike guy. But yeah, I mean, it was really funny watching him at the Players with just nothing but Players, TPC Sawgrass merch and stuff like that. That was cool. But he was having fun with it, and that's what you love in this game.
Him and the Masters apparel would have been sick. I don't know if he's still going to wear like Masters polos because the Blackstone thing's just for the hat. So I don't know if he was going to wear like the Augusta polo with the little logo over the nipple. I don't know, but him fully decked out would have been cool. But, but alas. We'll move on now to your round at Half Moon Bay on your worldwide tour of San Francisco.
Yeah.
Tell us all about it.
Dude, I mean, really, really glad we could fit this in our travels, going mostly for the Mets and then seeing the A's on Saturday. That was kind of the big thing of the trip. But when you're in the area, you obviously got to take some stuff in. And I told my dad, I'm like, I would like to play one round of golf out on this trip because when we went to Arizona a couple of years ago in March, we didn't end up playing, and I was a little disappointed because Arizona's got some great courses out there. But it was awesome. Cost me, so it was about $140 for both. So I paid for my dad as well, so it was $300 total, and just absolutely worth it. But my God, once you got to the weather just completely changed from beautiful, nice, and peaceful in the morning to just hellacious winds coming across the entire course on the back nine. But it was good. I mean, I shot an 86. My dad beat me in the handicap game because he's a 23.1 handicap. So he shot it in 96, had a really good round with rental clubs on the front nine, was driving it well, but he came in with a back injury. So he was struggling a little bit once he got towards the end. I think he closed with like 6 straight double bogeys. He was just having a rough one. But, man, what an awesome course. I sent you the pictures, and the pictures don't really do it justice. You're just out there right on the Pacific Ocean with just rolling hills and cliffs all down the shoreline on this big parkland area in Half Moon Bay. and it's not a hidden gem because it's not hidden. It's one of the best public courses in San Francisco. I looked it up, and it was one of the top ones. And I mean, here's the scorecard as well. When a scorecard looks like this, you know it's going to be a class course. It's got the rounded edges.
Is that leather or faux leather?
It is brown material.
Okay, brown material.
But yeah, I mean, I parred the first hole, nice little green in regulation, and then after that, I kind of struggled on the front nine to just get my swing in order, and then my putter was just doing me in. I had 3 straight greens in regulation to close the front nine, and I 3-putted all 3 of them, and I was so upset. I was and I just sometimes get in my own head, especially when I'm playing with my dad, because he got me into the game and stuff. It's like, I was getting upset, and then I had a couple of tough holes to start the back nine, and I was getting a little upset, but then I kind of just let it all out, and it was awesome. I sent you the video of the swing, hit a piercing drive right through the wind on 14 on a par 5, hit a nice little, I want to say I think it was a 5 wood, and I kind of kept it low, and it went up the right side, and it was just under the green. And then I hit one of the best, and I told you so much how I've worked on these running chips, the bump and run chips. And I hit a perfect bump and run chip to about 2 feet, maybe 1.5, and had a tap in birdie. And I mean, that kind of just reset me for the day, and I was able to actually enjoy just the scenery. We were playing with a great group of guys that actually knew the course well, and yeah, it was awesome. But I want to say probably almost 40-mile-an-hour winds coming off the ocean on the back nine, and it was fun trying to play through that. And then I think just to cap it all off, hit a awesome 7-iron in on 18, which 18 is a great par 5. I think the last 4 or 5 holes are along the ocean, but like really up in the air, like on the cliff. And we almost lost the cart. It almost blew out of the cart. That's how much the wind was blowing. We had to put it away. And I hit a perfect 7-iron short onto I think it was a back pin, and I hit it short onto the green. And I hit a 30-foot putt for birdie to close it out. A breaker broke right, and it went right in. Yelled out a little, "Come on!" That was a great way to close. And it was good to have. I mean, that was just awesome. Absolutely worth the trip. Very, very good course if you're ever out in the San Francisco area. I mean, everybody knows about it around here if you're a golfer, but like if you're ever out in the San Francisco area and not from here, I would recommend it because there's 2 courses at Half Moon Bay. There's the ocean course and the old course. We played the ocean course because I wanted more of the ocean vibe. The old course is like link style, but it has a cooler finishing hole. It's the one I sent you in the morning. Right next to the practice green. But yeah, really, really good round to kind of start what I'm thinking is the summer. I'm trying to get into it. My handicap's going to go up a little bit. We'll see. Hopefully there's a playing course conditions adjustment for that wind because I want to say probably 7 of those 9 holes on the back nine were into the wind. The 2 downwind ones were tremendous though. Oh, that was awesome. Hitting some bombing drives. But yeah, I was hitting the driver really well today. Putter was not great until the back nine. I got it in order, and then ball striking in general was just great. And this kind of made me felt like I was on the right track, and with 18 days until the Panther Run Open, the Southwest Amateur Series in Florida, I'll probably get one more round in between then just to tune up for it, but I'm excited for that. But this was definitely, I'll remember this one for a long time. Just a beautiful course. And I'm really going to, remember this one. But yeah, went 44 or 45, 41. So two pretty good nines.
Yeah, shaving 4 strokes off on the back. Nothing to complain about there.
Yeah, and if I could have putt on those last 3 holes on the front nine, I probably could have shot an 82. Like that would have been amazing. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes before that. But that was good to have before you get into the Mets game. Just a nice little way to finish. And the 2 birdies, I haven't birdied. It's been a while since I birdied 2 in a round. I think I had the most greens in regulation I've ever had in a round with 7 today, which was awesome. But unfortunately,
that's good.
Yeah. And unfortunately, I only took advantage of 3 of those 7. But I like I said, I'm a great putter, but today was a bit of an issue. But yeah, so just trying to get the game. I think I found where my swing is. I was telling you all like spring or all winter, just how like something was just like there was one little thing that was just off in my swing, and I wasn't able to hit the ball how I was over the summer. But now I think I'm back to that point. I found the repeatable motion. It was the grip and it was the tee height on the driver that was really throwing me for a loop. And now I think I'm ready to start to kick it into gear as we get into the warmer months. That's going to be warm in Florida regardless.
Yeah. What was your favorite hole?
That's a
Describe
great
in great detail because I don't have anything to put on the screen because StreamYard wants me to spend
in
$8,000.
great detail. We'll go with the one. I'll go with 16. Hole 16 is you get finally to the crescendo of the course, like all the way to the top of the one cliff. Because you're basically ascending the entire time as you go up, just up a couple hills as you get to Half Moon Bay. And by the way, what a logo for that course! That's just that's a class logo. You got pretty cool. But you're going and you got the Pacific in the background, and you got the long in the distance. You can see the Ritz Carlton Hotel on 18 on the other hole or on the other course, with all the cliffs, and it was just the waves, and it was awesome. And you hit it basically directly into the wind, but it was a nice little 16 was a par 4, 360 yards from the whites. We played from the blues today. It was 381. Definitely, probably one of the coolest ones on the course, just going along the water. But I want to say the front 9 had a couple of cool ones too, but none that really stood out to me besides until you got to the ocean. There was a couple of cool par 3s over some water. There was a short par 3, but I didn't really hit them that well. And then the opening hole is really cool. You get right out there and you're basically the tee box is just, elevated, and it's a nice dogleg right, par 4. Hit a good drive, and then you have a good shot downhill into the green and hit a nice pitching wedge on there and parred it. It was pretty good. So yeah, definitely recommend it. One of my favorites I've played. Once we go through this process, I'm going to start ranking them, of course, but I don't think anything is going to top the Blue Monster for a while, because that's definitely my favorite that I've played. But this was a very, very nice one to go to.
Yeah, I'm excited. We'll do an end of summer maybe ranking from you,
Yeah.
or end of 2026 ranking from you. The ocean wind's crazy. This story. I'm sure I'll tell it 700 times on this show over its run, just because. But like, we honeymooned in Kiowa Island, and we went to the ocean course for dinner. And but we were in the planning stage, and if anyone knows golf, the Kiowa Island, Ryder Cup history and things of that nature.
Hardest course in the country.
And so my wife's like, hey, like, if we can swing it, like, you can play like 9 holes, because it's like $300. It was like the middle of August. Like, and she's like, if it makes sense, like, you can play 9 holes. Like, I'll give you that. And I said, no, like, I'm not spending that much money to get mad. And she like believed it, but there's a little bit of like, how are you so sure? And then we ate dinner there one night, and we're watching the golfers, and I've never seen wind like that before. There's been tornado warnings like multiple times a week where I live, like scary wind, like branches just flying off trees just getting ripped out of the ground.
I went through an earthquake last night, so.
The real San Francisco experience. But dude, I've never seen wind like that. Imagine hitting a golf ball in that. Honestly, sounds like my personal hell. So, I mean, kudos to you. You were texting me like as the round was going on, and I was like, oh man, like, I hope he doesn't lose his head and like not enjoy this round. So for you to not only like enjoy the round, but keep your head in check and like finish as strongly as you did, like, that's very impressive.
Yeah, and I will say this. I will admit I kind of lost it for about a 6-hole stretch towards the end of the front 9 and early into the back 9. Just had to let some of it out at one point. So I got it all out after that. And I was just happy to be there after that. But yeah, the wind was unbelievable. And I live in Florida. So the wind where I play in Florida is not easy as well. The course that I normally play at Miccosukee, the wind's coming off the water. It is just so impossible to hit because you're into the wind in almost every hole. But today, this was nothing like I'd ever done before. But I just kind of trusted my club head speed and getting it through. And if I came up short, I have a pretty good short game to where I'm not too worried. There was a couple of holes where, I had to like hit low cutting woods that kind of just went as far as they could go. Like, shoot, even the hole that I birdied, I hit the 5 wood on that hole. And I had like I want to say it was 206 in on my second shot after the drive, because I had an awesome drive into the wind on that hole. I want to say it would have probably been almost 300 if there was no wind that day. And the guys we were playing with said it was a like almost unplayable wind day. So that's kind of how I can explain it. And I hit this 5 wood low, and it again only went like 160, 170 yards. So with all the speed.
Hope the USGA takes all that into consideration.
I do too.
Evaluating. You brought up a good topic we can touch on for a little bit, about in the sweet spot for episode length. Favorite course, like growing up, was that it?
Yeah, favorite course growing up. Yeah, so I didn't really play golf until I was 23 years old. That was the first time I really got into it. But the course that I've always been around and always grew up going to when I was younger and played a few times with my family over Thanksgiving, and I've told you about it a million times, is the Legends of Paris Island in Paris Island, South Carolina. Just a very, very well maintained course. It's a marine. As a my grandpa was in the Marines, so it's pretty cool to see all the history as you go out there. And it's always really good, in really good shape around that time of year too, and good fun to play. Really nice holes, and had a story when I was a story for another time where my family thought I got eaten by an alligator because I walked off from the group all the way to the clubhouse when we were on like hole 13. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one growing up. But I want to say more locally in Delaware. Really cool one, and it's not in Delaware. It's over the border, about 5 minutes in Avondale. It's a country club called Hartfeld, which my good friend is that I grew up playing hockey with is a member at, and I finally got to play there this summer. Grew up going there. That's a really nice one, and then yeah, that's really the two nicest ones that I can really think of that I grew up, playing or going to at least and being around.
Yeah, I think for me, I'd have to say Whispering Woods, which I only played once or twice, but it was one of the. You got to keep in mind, like I played courses that weren't great
Yeah,
growing up, like for monetary purposes and just because like I didn't want to embarrass myself. But I mentioned my buddy who ended up playing Division 2, and me and him went a bunch of times in summers in high school and stuff. And Whispering Woods is probably in Erie is probably one of the nicest like non, membership exclusive clubs that there are,
yeah,
non-private courses that there are. There's the word. And so I was like, okay, like let's do this. I wasn't good enough to play there, especially because of how close houses are to that course. But I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
to play at a course that wasn't almost laughably bad unless the weather was perfect was really cool. And I remember like doing that thing in your head where you're like pretending you're playing in an actual like PGA
yeah.
event. And it
Always.
was so fun to like look around and actually, kind of feel like it could realistically be somewhere that they would do something at.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I only played there a handful of times, but it was a ton of fun. And that was the first time I played a course and was like, wow, like this is golf. Like this is
Yeah.
not me hitting on a glorified, feeding area for farm animals. This is, where they graze in the pastures. Like this is legit. And so I'll always hold that in my heart in a nice
Yeah.
spot. And hoping to get back there. It's tough to get in before. Now it's even harder to get in with the
Yeah.
growth of the game without getting onto that tangent again. But definitely hope to get back there now that I have a little more to offer.
Yeah.
Not where I want to be yet, but feel like I could, maybe score there. As you and I were talking about, when you play good courses, like you can play better, as intimidating and confusing as
Yeah.
that sounds. When the
The
course
lies
is
are
well kept,
always
you're
better.
going to get better. The lies will be better. There'll be better rolls, things of that nature. Things are kept
Yeah.
up with better. Naturally, it's a little easier to do certain things. So, would like to play some of these courses that maybe when I was 15 I wasn't good enough to play at, but now about 10 strokes or so off my game since then, I'd like to see what I could do.
Yeah. And it's always funny, like I grew up, there's a course right by where I grew up called Del Castle. And it's not a dog track by any means, but it's a municipal course, but it's a nicer municipal course in Delaware. And it was fun to finally play that for the first time, when I was getting into golf. But I will say the one that I forgot to add is in Wilmington, Delaware, Rock Manor, the Rock, as I like to call it, or as everybody calls it. I mean, that's their branding is the Rock. Grew up playing ice hockey right next to the golf course. Literally, the golf course surrounds Skating Club of Wilmington, where I grew up. Playing middle school hockey. Some of my fondest memories, and that's one of the nicer ones in my neck of the woods. And I'll definitely get back there this summer at some point. My favorite hole there, I forget which number it is, but there's a par 3 that's like over a valley, and you aim it like a cell phone tower to get onto the green, and it's like a 7-iron in. It's a great par
That's
3.
so funny.
Yeah, it's a cool one. So
It's fun to get those little quirks as like you actually know what you're doing when you're like, why are you aiming at that tower? And you're like, trust me.
it's just
Uh,
right behind the green, brother.
my favorite things about golf. Like when the place my charity tournament's at, there's a barn one hole, and I'm like, where am I aiming? And everybody's like, at the barn. And I go, yeah, sure, why not? He's like, you're not gonna hit it. Like you're not gonna hit the barn, but you got to aim straight at it because then it's
Yeah,
gonna kick left. And I go, oh, okay, sure. But yeah, that's always funny. Just the random
yeah.
things you aim at on the golf course.
Aiming at the
Anything else?
pin.
Anything else you want to talk about here before we let the people go?
No, that was a fun round, and like I said, the tournament is coming up, which I feel like I could probably do a little bit better than last time. May still score around the same, but I'm excited to maybe be less nervous about it. Gotta give a shout out. I mean, I went to the San Jose Sharks game last night.
Oh, anything but golf. Go.
Yeah, let's do
Looking
that.
forward to that.
I will say this: Macklin Celebrini, what a hockey player that guy is. He factored into all 4 goals, had 4 points last night, and it was like kind of a snoozer of a game. By the way, SAP Center is one of the most bizarre hockey arenas I've ever been to. It's old, but it had very much the feel of the old Devils Arena in the Meadowlands when they used to play there. But yeah, they're down 3-2 with like a minute 30 left, and he scores a goal to tie it. And then 30 seconds later, he sets up the game-winning goal to like take the lead, and it was a big game for the Sharks. So that was cool. Checking that out and getting to fit that in. It's 2 years in a row where we have been able to see one of the late season hockey games. That's the beauty of going on trips in April, is you can also maybe catch a hockey game where you are. I got to see the Wild last year, and funny enough, both of these games were against the Anaheim Ducks. Last night, I got to see the Sharks play the Ducks, so cool. But then headed to Mets Giants tonight. Pretty excited to see them play, and it'll be my first Mets game of the year.
Yeah, excited for you. I'm gonna go with a simple one. A long walk after a hard day's work. Getting home, the weather's a little nicer. Me and the wife take a walk, debrief. What a good head clearing activity those 20 minutes to a half hour are. Just yap, enjoy the sun. We're all getting out of our cocoons here in Western Pennsylvania, so just taking in the nice little things like that of being back outside and not having to feel the diamond cutters when you take off your jacket, poking through because you're so cold. So that's much appreciated.
Posting season has begun in the Northeast, which is great. April 1st is the first day for USGA posting, which is yesterday. Always a good time of year to know that the weather's getting nicer and you can play some golf. And I love a good walk as much as the next guy. Hope to share that with someone like you have at some point soon. But yeah, always love that.
All them wholesome Miami women. We will see you.
Yeah, we won't talk about
that. That's Tyler. I'm Nick. We'll see you next week on the Double Squares Golf Show. Enjoy Valero if you're watching. Enjoy your Easter. All kinds of other things, whatever you celebrate. Hope it is an enjoyable time for you and your family. And we'll reconvene early next week because we got to get in before the Masters actually starts.
Yeah.
I didn't complain about Jason Kelsey being invited to be at the par 3 thing because I don't want to be unprofessional. But yeah, we'll touch on that, I'm sure, too. We'll see everyone next week. Until then, take care of yourselves.